Well, you came back, everybody. I am glad to see it. So, as you can hear, this has been a spectacular night of wrestling. 10 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s. The other federations should come watch what Mr. Smash Jarek and Josh are doing to learn a thing or two, because this was a spectacular night. Next up, Craig Covenant, holder of the medallion of I get to do whatever I wantness, versus JDT. So, good match. JDT did what he could do, but I gotta tell you, he was outclassed, which makes me sad. He's one of my favorites, but he was outclassed. Craig Covenant, man, up and comer. So Craig held on to his medallion, and all that was cool. Craig did great. Really took a bigger man and made him look silly, which was great. Just great. The only thing bad about Craig is he's a good guy. I mean, that's his only flaw. Is he's a good guy, loves the fans. What was cool about all this, everybody, was after he took JDT and beat him, he's turning his sights. He's going to use his medallion. He now has earned, in his mind, the chance to go after a title. Probably a caged, if I'm guessing. He is going to take on Kaiser for the Mid-Valley title. Does this reporter think he can beat him? Come on. Closer. No, I don't think he can. Been wrong before. I thought Nathan could beat Ben McCoy. I was wrong. So, could I be wrong about this? Sure could. But boy, Kaiser hasn't been beaten yet, so why would he start now? So, with when I combine both the match and the challenge to Kaiser afterwards, 7 out of 10. Good match. Next up, we have the final match of the night. This was for the Now That's Wrestling Championship, currently held by Perfection. Really lives up to his name. He is perfect in, well, everything he does. He's got the perfect girlfriend, the perfect manager, the perfect title. I mean, he's just perfection. Priceless Preston Palmer used to be priceless until he started hanging out with the best friends and forgot being a bad guy is good. And then he got beaten up. Didn't get beat up when he was a bad guy. Wonder. Weird. So this match was one that Jimothy got to pick who was going to face. Jimothy came out. I'm going to talk about Jimothy in a separate video because he deserves it. Jimothy came out. He was supposed to take on Perfection due to a horrific injury. He obviously can't compete. So he got to pick who was going to face Perfection. The fans unanimously chose Priceless Preston Palmer. Johnny CK, pure afterthought. Really, Johnny, you were one of the founding members of the Best Friends Club, but even though a couple weeks ago Preston Palmer was a bad guy, the fans like him better. How does that make you feel? Heck, I think the fans like Evie better than you. They certainly like Jimothy better than you. Maybe that beating will get some sense into you. So Preston was supposed to take on Perfection. But he got beat down, as did Johnny CK, by the newly reinvigorated XTC and Porn Stash. They were not ready to, neither of them were ready to take on Perfection. Mind you, at 100%, are they even ready to take on Perfection? No, they're not. No. So, Jimothy picks Classic Alpha. Classic's a big, tough man. I mean, he's a big, tough, strong man. Strong, strong, strong. Thick. He's thick. And he took perfection to the edge of defeat. But perfection was never going to lose the title to Classic Alpha. Classic, you're great at what you do. You take on big men, you thump, you pump, you fight them real good. But I mean, you're playing checkers while perfection is playing chess. You were never going to win. So, with a little help from his friends, perfection beat Classic Alpha. And then a whole bunch of other stuff happened that we'll talk about here in just a second. But before I move on, I do want to give the grade 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 match. It was a good match. Perfection did everything he could to make it a 10 out of 10 match. Classic Alpha did everything he could to make it a 10 out of 10 match. It just wasn't quite there. Now, next month, listen, fans, if you haven't bought your ticket already, I don't know why, at the caged event, they'll be in a cage. That should be a banger. I fear for perfection because while he's perfect in everything he does, I mean, he's in a cage. Classic Alpha, the cheater that he is going to throw him around the cage and use the cage to hurt this amazing human being that only cares about the fans. So, my fingers are crossed that McClure and Perfection will sit down and make a plan that will allow him to win, because it might be hard for those friends to lend a helping hand while they're in a cage. So I'm going to stop it here. Union mandated break. I will be back to finish off the night with what happened next. Come back. Promise me you're going to come back.